Hello, I'm Jay, owner of Volunteer Audio in Oliver Springs, Tennessee. And today I'm going to show you the latest lights from Custom Dynamics. These new off-road looking lights are the latest craze in the performance bagger scene. And I'm going to show you how they can take your terrible factory lighting from this to this. It's that time of the year, our days are getting shorter, night is getting here sooner and sooner, and we need to make sure we're seen and we can see while we're riding at night. So I'll show you how to take these Shark Demon headlights and put it in this 2014 police model. This light's going to fit all of your single headlight models, like your Batwing fairing for your Electra glides, your Ultras, your street glides, from 1994 to 2023. And I'll show you video footage of the before and after of just how amazing this light is and how well it lights up at night. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we're putting in the bike today. So again, this is the Shark Demon series from Custom Dynamics, and it's going to look very similar to some other lights you've probably seen on the market. There is another light called the Baja lights, the LP6, and it seems like there's a couple different companies selling brackets to mount them in the fairing, and we've had to deal with them quite a bit here at Volunteer Audio as we're doing audio systems. So we're normally removing those, especially out of the road glides, to install the amplifiers in behind them. So when I saw Custom Dynamics got into this, I was pretty excited. The LP6 Bajas didn't fit great. Yes, the brackets work. Yes, the headlights go in, but they're extra deep. They also had a lot of additional wiring and relays that had to be run throughout the bike to get them to work. And are they bright? They're extremely bright. But the side effect of that was the reflectors they're using are for off-road trucks. So it shines not only out in front of you, but into everybody's eyes that are coming toward you. So they're not a DOT approved light. And if you were to get in an accident or get pulled over those lights, you're not going to win. You're going to find out that you have off-road use only lights in your bike. Now, Custom Dynamics always takes things to the next level. They gave us the look and the light that we were looking for with the brightness we would expect, but while being DOT and SAE approved. Now, DOT approval means this light is not going to shine into the eyes of oncoming traffic. And the way that regulation is, 100 foot out, the light shouldn't be more than 4 foot off the ground. Now, we'll show you later how that our current light that we have is probably shining 2.5 feet off the ground, maybe 3 feet. And with this properly adjusted, we're going to get quite a bit more light as far as how long it's casting. It's also very, very bright. And in high beam mode, we're going to pick up that area we have up above. So if you're doing some back roads riding, you want to light the trees up, the high beam is going to do that. Now, they have 3 different models currently out. Now, I know they'll come out with one for the 24 and up road glide, but it's not available yet. But we currently have the double headlight. That can be done in 2 white headlights or a white and a yellow for the road glides from 2015 to 2023. We also have the new 24 and up street glide headlight available as well. And in the case of the one we're doing today, it actually fits 1994 to 2023 street glides, anything with a single. It even fits some Dynas, some Road Kings, and so on. But we're going to show you on our bike how to put it in, and here in a minute I'll video afterwards the before and after lighting footage for you. We'll share that with you too, because it's pretty remarkable. The things that I like about this light, it's not as deep, so it doesn't interfere with a lot of our aftermarket amps. Custom Dynamics offers a spacer kit to space the light out on the road glides to make it where it fits larger amps like the Rockford M5 800. But we found with our SP 4.900 Hertz amps and most of the ones in our plug-and-play packages at Volunteer Audio, that spacer kit's not needed, which is nice. Whereas with the Bajas, we're having to space the top of the brackets out to make room. Also, it's using factory wiring, factory relays, factory switches. It pulls a lot less current, and it doesn't have to be ran this huge wiring throughout the bike. So the install is extremely simple. And last but not least, like with all the other Custom Dynamics lights, it's engineered here in the US and it is lifetime warranted. At Volunteer Audio, we try to pick the best company, one company for each style of product, and only sell you the best. I'm not going to sell you the cheapest product. You have problems and say, oh, well, you should have bought the better one. We're only going to offer you the best option. And I think if you weigh out the price, you'll find out it's still a very reasonably priced light compared to the other options that are out there. All right, let's get to the bike. We'll get a little video on the before on this factory light. I'll get this installed, show you that installation process, and then we'll show you the video side by side so you get a better idea of just how much brighter it is. All right, let's get to work. All right, so let me tell you about the light we're starting with. This is the factory Harley Davidson LED light. It could have been factory in some models, but most time people bought this at the dealership and upgraded. They actually called it a Daymaker. I know the current version of the Daymaker looks slightly different than this one. This was not the adaptive light that when you tilted changed. But this particular light is relatively bright, and it was good for its time, but it doesn't compare to our new light. And as you see with a little age, the lens is fogging up slightly, and I think our bike's going to look a lot better. It's going to look a lot more new and more current with this new headlight in it. But let me get it turned on, and I'll show you on our wall just how bright it is currently. All right, so our Harley-Davidson branded LED light is turned on, and I think you'll see on my wall over there, my garage door is 2-foot tall panels. So if we're looking at this, somewhere between 2.5 to 3 feet is as high as that light is going. And when I switch to bright, I get a little bit more center brightness, but I really don't gain a lot of overall brightness on brights. And that's on high beam. A lot of people are riding around with high beams on because it's really not making that big of a difference. But that's where we started out at. Let's get our other light put in, and let me show you the same results on the wall that you just saw. All right, so before we're going to take the light out of the bike and try to put this one in, we're going to take our parts that were in our box and we're going to get them assembled properly. In your box, you're going to have a headlight mounting bracket. You're also going to have a headlight. We're going to have 4 fine threaded screws and 4 washers, 3 cotter pins, and 2 wiring harness adapters for various years. I want you to take your 4 screws first, and we're going to mount our headlight to our headlight bracket before we get going. Now you're going to see you have 2 of the screw holes that we're going to mount are easily got to, and we can get right to those without having to disassemble. But the other side, those are blocked by this screw and this spring. So I'm going to take a T25 Torx driver, and I'm just going to remove this bolt all the way out so I can get that spring and bolt out of my way so I can attach my headlight. And we're going to put those back in once we get our headlight in. Now let's look at our bracket. You're going to see we have a threaded hole for our trim ring, and we also have this little part at the top. That threaded hole is going to go at the bottom. Now when you look at your light, it also says top, and you'll see that your writing is correct when it's in there the right way. So we're going to take our harness and bring it toward the bottom here, drop our light in, and then we're going to get our screws in on both sides. We're going to start them all before we tighten any up to make sure that this is going to line up straight and not fight us as we go. So take your bracket, bring it around till your headlight lights up with it, and start your screws. Like I say, I'm not going to tighten them up yet. I'm just going to start each one. We'll tighten them once we've got them all started. Go to the other side. Now we can access those bolts that were behind the spring. All right, one more to start, then I'll get them tightened up. These are not adjustable, but those little spring bolts will adjust your light. We'll go over that a little bit once we get it installed. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten them all the way down. All right, now I'm going to put my spring back in place. Start our bolt back through. When you do this, you will need to squeeze that bracket in just a little bit to compress the spring, get that bolt to start. Line up the hole. There we go. Now we're threading through. Now as the bolt comes through the other side, you'll see there's actually a hole through the bolt. That is there for these cotter pins. So once you get your bolt through, I want you to go ahead and stick your cotter pin in. And you're going to take a screwdriver or a tool. I'm going to use a pair of pliers. And you're going to bend that cotter pin around so that this bolt cannot be taken out and fall out while you're trying to do your adjustment later to your headlight. It'd be easier if your bolt didn't try to spin around on you while you were trying to crimp that cotter pin in place. So you're going to take each one of them, do like that, bring it around, and that's going to keep the bolt from ever being taken out too far as you do your adjustment later. All right, I'm going to get these other 2 done, and then we'll hop back to showing you the adapters, and we'll move over to the bike. All right, so after I've got all 3 of those retainers on, I want you to look at how much threaded screw we have hanging out here. This is probably roughly 3/4 of an inch. I've got that on both of my side bolts, and I'm just barely through on the top one. What you're going to find out after we put it in, as you tighten up the top bolt, it actually pivots the headlight down. And by bringing these in, it brings that headlight beam upward. Now, I've pre-installed this earlier. and I was just looking at a comparison between it and our current light for some video footage for you. And while I was doing it, I adjusted it to where we were at about 4 feet on our top of our headlight beam as it went out, and that's how much it took. So doing this now might save you quite a bit of time later. Now also, we're going to see that some of the Harleys actually have this connector for the headlight. And if you see that in your bike, you don't have to use an adapter. But if you have an older one that has a 3-prong connector, or a newer style bike that has this 4-pin connector, simply plug in the adapter you see. And this is the one for ours, and then it'll plug right into the bike. Let's move over to the bike. I'll show you just how easy it is to get the headlight out. All right, so the stock headlight is actually very simple to take out. You don't even have to remove your fairing. I'm going to use a small straight screwdriver, and I'm going to remove the single straight screw that's actually holding this trim bezel on our headlight. All right, once you've got that screw out, you're simply going to pull out on this ring, and then we're going to rotate it counterclockwise. By doing so, it's actually going to take this little metal insert, and it's going to release it from that upper clip. It's going to let us take it off and get to our headlight now. Now, using that same T25 Torx, I've got 4 screws around my headlight. Now, I want you to look here. I have a fender protector on our fender, and I always advise for you to put one there, whether it be a towel or an actual fender protector, something in case you drop a tool, a screw, or even the headlight. Hopefully you won't scratch or dent your fender. So there's 4 screws, 2 on each side, T25. We're just going to get each one of these out. All right, so now I've got the 4 out. I'm just going to unplug my headlight, set it over to the side. All right, so I've got my new headlight. I've got the correct adapter on it, so I'm simply going to plug it in. Now I'm just going to take my headlight and I'm going to position it in just like that original headlight was, and put these 4 screws right back that we just took out. So I've got the 4th screw in, tightening them all up. The bracket fits perfectly as we would expect from Custom Dynamics. They just do a great job on lighting. Now I'm going to take that original ring. It had a rubber gasket that went around the headlight that I'm actually going to remove because we're not actually sealing to a headlight anymore. And I'm going to stick with the chrome ring because I've got a lot of chrome accessories, but I think it looks great with a black ring as well. So when we're looking in here, we're going to see that little clip, and we're going to bring our headlight ring in a little counterclockwise. We're going to spin it till it locks in, which it just did. And we're going to take that same screw that we just took out, and we're going to line it up to thread in to our new bracket from Custom Dynamics. It does go in at just a little bit of an angle, and I can actually look through and see that angle from this headlight, so it makes it easier to go in. So I'm just going to put it in and tighten it up. All right, I'm going to look in here and see that I'm definitely attached here at the top. I like the chrome trim around the black headlight. Now, everybody has different styles, different ideas on your looks. You could get a black ring as well to go around it. And as you get into those road glides, you have the option of doing a white light or a white and yellow light. There's also some fog light options as well to go along with it on the sides, or turn signals we would call them. Very, very cool idea. I definitely like the look of this new performance look. Now, it's not for everybody. If you don't like this look, Custom Dynamics makes some awesome headlights in other styles as well, but this is the latest and the greatest, and I want you to see it first here at Volunteer Audio. All right, so now that we have it in, I'd love to just go straight in and show you the footage of what it looks like. But first, I want to show you that before footage, what it looked like with the original light, and then right after that, I'll show you what it looks like now. All right, so this is our low beam light with our new Shark Demon headlight. It is substantially brighter, but you'll also see our light is quite a bit higher on the wall. Now we can take and we could adjust that with a screwdriver. Simply by turning in the left and right side of that light, we're going to be able to raise that beam up. But I also want to show you what it looks like when we get our high beam on. Wow, what a difference. Our old high beam barely made any difference. Now we have got this huge circle all the way up well above our door. Our door is 10 foot. So we're lighting up a lot bigger area. And like I say, that is for more so when you're on those back roads or in those areas where you need to light up the trees where you're around. Whereas this is that DOT approved light that you're going to be able to see plenty fine going down the road, and you're not blinding oncoming traffic and making it where you may get into an accident. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment, bring that light up slightly, and then we'll be ready to go. All right, so as you see, this was a very simple install and a very big improvement. And we make these videos to try to encourage you to take on things like this on your own. Now, if you want us to do the install, we'd love to have you come in and visit us, and we can do it. But I think this is something most people that are just slightly mechanically inclined with very, very few tools could take on and do a good job of. All right, so I'm excited about the lights. I'm excited that Volunteer Audio has all these custom dynamics lights. And if you want to see them, you can go to volunteeraudio.com, click the link above. It'll take you right to those Shark Demon lights so you can check out more about them. If you have questions or comments about the lights, leave it in the video comments below. We'll be quick to answer those. Make sure you subscribe to Volunteer Audio on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, and we'll be sure to show you the latest in Harley audio, lighting, and accessories as they come out. If you have more questions, you can also reach out to our knowledgeable sales and tech support team at 1-844-30-AUDIO. If you want to put together a package of various different lights for your bike, we'd love to put that together for you to make sure they all fit and they work correctly. We'll get you a package with everything you need just emailed over. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, God bless.